And now we're going to talk about energy. So to do this, I'm actually going to sit up straight and let my energy flow properly around my body. In religion, we call it spirits. In science, we call it energy. And in the streets, we call it a vibe. All I'm saying is trust it. You can't fake a frequency. Everything is made up of energy. Absolutely everything. Not just us, but not just the trees and the animals, but even this floor, this sofa, all of it has energy. Energy has been written about in science since the beginning of time, but didn't properly become accepted in Western cultures until the works of Einstein, which is quite recent, and we really don't give it much thought at all when we should do. So, how does energy work? We take energy from absolutely everything around us, whether it's the food that we eat or the people that we see, everything we touch, our senses, everything that comes in from our senses, because everything, all of us, are made up of energy. It is protons, neurons, and electrons, and they are energetic subatomic particles, and they interact with each other, every single thing around us. Energy also plays a vital role in how we feel, obviously. It is literally emotion, energy in motion. So IKEA did a fascinating study called Say No to Bullying, and it put two identical plants, well obviously not identical because you don't have two identical plants, but two similar plants with the same water and the same light in a classroom with children, and they asked the children to go and talk to them every day. One of them spoke to the plants with love and the other one spoke with hate and anger. The one in love flourished and the one with hate and anger died really quickly. Another very interesting study was done with a third plant that was ignored, and that actually died even quicker. So, Prince Charles was called mad for talking to his plants, but they take on absolutely everything. Every second, our brain creates memories, which are stored as energy, and we have the ability to store the equivalent of 2.5 million gigabytes of digital memory. Run that by you again. We have the ability to store the equivalent of 2.5 million gigabytes of digital memory. 95% of this energy is stored subconsciously. We store all the positive and negative energy from every experience of our life, and it shapes who we are by creating our limiting beliefs and our energy vibration. Limiting beliefs are negative thoughts such as, I'm not good enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not smart enough. Every time we feel this energy, it gets stored and imprinted into the way that we view ourselves. I'm powerless. Whatever your limiting beliefs are, they are stored in your body. Our energy vibration is the energetic level that your whole body vibrates at, and it's measured using an energy vibration scale designed by Dr. David Hawkins from a book called Power versus Force. And here we have a picture of the energy vibrational scale, which goes from alpha to omega. And the first section of it, the first triangle you will see, is suffering. So that starts with shame at a level of 20. It goes into guilt. Hitler was said to have an energy vibrational scale of 37. Then you have apathy, when you just can't be asked. And then you have grief, and we've all had quite a lot of grief going on in the last couple of years. Then you get to fear at 100. Again, we've had a lot of fear going on in our lives, and fear is the biggest suppressor of the immune system. Next one up is desire, followed by anger. Now, anger is actually quite high up the energy vibrational scale, and I was surprised when I first learned this, but it's actually a good thing because it means that you want to change something. Anger is a way through to courage, but you've got to get through pride first of all, because a lot of people don't want to lose their pride by being angry. But you've got to do that, and you've got to find courage. Courage is at 200, and the average human before 2020 was said to vibrate on an energy vibrational scale of around 200 to 250. That was kind of standard. Then at 250, you've got neutrality. And the next one up is willingness, where you're willing to do something. You are willing to strive and to get to something better that you're asking yourself. And then you come on to acceptance, that you've accepted that this is your journey. And you reason with yourself over that and go, yep, this is the right way. And then you hit the big one, and you're hitting love. So the moment you hit 500, you are absolutely top bang in flow. And that's where you will see the massive, massive changes in your life. Above that, we have joy, and we've got to start finding some joy again. And after we've had joy, we will find peace. And then hopefully we'll find enlightenment. But one of the things most important in the world at this moment in time is to raise your energy vibrational scale. You've got to raise your energies. We've got to start pushing that vibe up. We've got to get dancing. We've got to get singing. We've got to get cuddling people and shouting with joy and just moving it about. And remember that where you are now is not your final destination. Now I'm going to introduce you to one of my absolute favorite energy exercises. It's called the Cooks Hookup, after Wayne Cook, who devised it. So you put your left leg over your right leg, you put your hands back to back, cross them over, intertwine your fingers, and then you just bring them up to your heart, and you speak to yourself in the positive affirmative. So I had this really interesting Christmas day with close family friends who didn't want me to come because I wouldn't eat gluten and I wouldn't eat sugar and I wouldn't eat meat, and they were having a little bit of a turn and they weren't very happy with me. So on Christmas Day I woke up 2 hours before everybody else, and I just put myself into the Cooks Hookup, and I spoke to myself in the positive affirmative and told myself I could eat absolutely anything that day and it wouldn't hurt me, because I had a lot of autoimmune diseases at the time. So I just said, it is safe and appropriate for me to eat gluten. It is safe and appropriate for me to eat sugar. It is safe and appropriate for me to eat gluten. It is safe and appropriate for me to eat sugar. And I literally just spent a couple of hours in the morning telling my brain that this was okay. And we arrived at their house on Christmas Day, and the whole table was covered in mince pies and chocolates and Christmas cake, and I just thought, okay, and I went to eat it. And my children started screaming at me and going, for God's sake, you're going to turn red and you're going to start vomiting and you're going to have diarrhea, and stop it. And I'm going, it's absolutely fine, it's absolutely fine. And I spent the whole day eating crap, and I was absolutely fine. Normally I would be vomiting, red blotches coming up everywhere, and I was absolutely fine. But the interesting part was I woke up on Boxing morning and I could smell croissants in the oven, and I ran downstairs and I was so excited at eating a croissant for the first time in 3 years. I didn't meditate, it was just like, oh my God, jam, butter, blah, and I ate it, and within seconds it was just like, I felt like I was being strangled, great big red bumps over me, started retching because I hadn't primed my mind. That is how powerful doing an energy exercise can be.